But do not think that China is the only authoritarian threatening war. There's Russia as well. Its President Vladimir Putin seems to me a killer, and I mean that literally. I mean, we've seen Russian dissidents like Alexander Litvinenko. They've been poisoned, murdered by Russian agents. Now, his killers were filmed checking into their London hotel. Another Putin critic and his daughter, also in Britain, Skripals, they were poisoned as well. They survived, but a British woman who picked up the poison bottle that was allegedly used against them, she died. And that was in an operation by two other Russian agents, two men who the Czech Republic this week accused of striking in their country too, of helping to blow up two ammunition dumps 7 years ago, killing two Czech workers. The Czechs this week expelled 18 Russian diplomats in retaliation. And the interesting thing about all that is that the brazenness and the brutality of Putin's spies, but that's one thing. Even more worrying now is that Russia has moved around 150,000 troops to its border with Ukraine, which worries that Russia is about to invade and grab even more of its territory. Russia has already taken the Crimea from Ukraine, and pro-Russian militias took two enclaves in Ukraine's east. It's like Russia and China, by the way, and Iran, they've all now figured that new US President Joe Biden is just too weak to stop them. And so far it seems he is. Biden did order two US warships to the Black Sea to warn off Russia from Ukraine, but changed his mind when Russia got angry, pulled them back.
Call halal Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalom, Yasharallah. Quick video on an article from Israel 365 News. Biden prepares for nuclear war. The opening line quoting Ezekiel, the 38th chapter, verse 2 from the Israel Bible, and it reads, O mortal, turn your face toward Gog of the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. Prophesy against him. So let's go through it, then we'll close out to Ezekiel 38 in the King James Version. As tensions in the Black Sea rise between Russia and Ukraine, the Pentagon isn't taking any chances and has publicized that they are preparing for the worst-case scenario. In a tweet on Tuesday, the United States Strategic Command, which is responsible for strategic deterrence, global strike, and operating the DoD's, the Department of Defense's Global Information Grid, released a statement on Twitter writing, Posture Statement Preview. The spectrum of conflict today is neither linear nor predictable. We must account for the possibility of conflict leading to conditions which could very rapidly drive an adversary to consider nuclear use as their least bad option. The United States Strategic Command, or US STRATCOM, is one of 11 unified combatant commands in the Department of Defense. The command is headquartered in Offutt Air Force Base, Nebraska. On Monday, Israel 365 News reported that Russia warned Biden against getting involved in the conflict. For those not in the know, on the 24th of March, the Ukrainian president signed a decree essentially declaring war against Russia. And pursuant to that declaration, the White House released a press statement expressing, quote, unquote, unwavering support for Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity in the face of Russia's ongoing aggression. U.S. defense official then announced plans to send warships into the Black Sea. Since then, the warships have been pulled back by Washington. The problem is the U.S. is worried about not only agriculture and natural resources coming out of Ukraine, but strategic positioning in size. And 40 million strong, the Ukraine is by far the biggest country in Europe and the most important point of issue between the East and West, meaning Russia and Europe. When the Soviet Union broke in 91, Russia's nuclear stockpile ended up scattered across the former republics, namely the Ukraine. That's almost 2,000 strategic nuclear weapons with the capability of reaching the U.S. and its allies. So this is a matter of strategic defense, hence Stratcom's sitting up to pay attention. From what I understand, because of a diplomatic referendum, the warheads were returned in exchange for Russia's respect of Ukraine's territorial integrity. But as I said, from a strategic standpoint, it's a no-brainer as to why Russia needs to finally control that region. This is Ezekiel chapter 38, verse 2 in the King James Version, and it reads, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him. Now, Gog and Magog is the land belonging to Noah's son Japheth, but is recognized today as Russia. Meshech and Tubal are the sons of Japheth. You'll find that in Genesis, the 10th chapter, I believe. Tubal, once known as Asia Minor, is now known as Turkey. The meaning here is that Russia and Turkey would stand confederate, meaning with each other, as this prophecy unfolds. Now remember, Turkey was put in the position to be the head of the military arm of NATO. Even though Turkey touches no part of the Atlantic, all the military hardware and control centers were moved and placed under their supervision. Since being sanctioned by the U.S., Turkey's ties to NATO adversaries Russia and Iran have grown. Pursuant to this prophecy of Gog and Magog, written of in the 30th chapter of Ezekiel, without having to go verse through verse, touching on key points that more or less relate to this article, eventually Turkey will have to leave NATO and turn its back on America, with Biden setting to recognize the massacre of Armenians as genocide. It will definitely prove to further strain ties with Washington and Turkey as a NATO ally. Considering 74% of NATO's forces is comprised of the U.S. Army, it is NATO that is being used as means to infiltrate other countries. Ergo, the other NATO allies are being used to create tactical strongholds for themselves. Hence, the U.S.'s support and pandering to former Soviet republics like the Ukraine, so they too can strategically skirt Russian borders with excess force and missiles. Let's go to Ezekiel 38 and 9. And it reads, Thou shalt ascend and come like a storm. Thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land, thou and all thy bands, and many people with thee. The head, being Russia, along with his allies, will set out to physically engage the West. Verse 10, Thus saith the Lord power Yahweh, it shall also come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought. This is speaking to Magog, the Russians. A spirit from the Most High will be put on Russia's leadership to wage war on Babylon, which we know is America, triggering World War III. Ezekiel 38 and 11, And thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages, America, and I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls and having neither bars nor gates, meaning the United States will be the focus of a nuclear missile attack. Israel, along with its major supporter, the U.S., will be destroyed. Jeremiah 49 and 31 says this, Arise, get you up unto the wealthy nation that dwelleth without care, saith Yahweh, which have neither gates nor bars, which dwell alone. And their camels shall be a booty, and the multitude of their cattle a spoil. And I will scatter into all winds them that are in the utmost corners, and I will bring their calamity from all sides thereof, saith the Lord Yahweh. So let's close with this. This is Matthew chapter 24, verse 6, and it reads, And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in divers places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. The major prophecies that have yet to come to pass before Yahushua returns to receive his prize, his bride, which is the elect of Israel, and his kingdom and rulership, is the MOB, the mark of the beast, the mandate to implement the RFID microchip. And what we're on the precipice of here now is World War III. So stay circumspect, Yasharala. Keep your eyes on open, fast and pray without ceasing. Abba Ratazah, we're almost home. Call halal Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai B'Shem Rakakwadash through the power and spirit. I hope you are edified. Double honors unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalom, Yasharala. Don't take that test. Don't take that jab. And damn sure don't take that chip.